Oh, those damn bass players.
A lot's happened since yesterday.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, and kittens wearing mittens.
What about
Welcome to
dogs on a
another
log?
exciting episode of A Lot's Happened Since Yesterday. My name is Ralph Busso.
My name is Cody Walker. My friends, it's good to be back. We've been hitting the reaction videos hard. Make sure you check those out as well, because we are always doing the cool interviews, but we're also doing the reactions, and we have guests coming on doing that, talking shit. Make sure you all do that stuff. I missed y'all. I missed your faces. I missed all the rest of your body parts. It's all good. Take that as you will. Our guest today, my friends, is from the band The Million Reasons. Bassist Jason Cillo. Jason, how you doing, my friend?
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming on, brother. Let's jump in on the band. Tell us about Million Reasons. What is the band about? What is it? What is its? I don't know. I was trying to go deep there. Just tell us about the band.
Well, where'd you come up with the name, bro?
We got to get better as a band at filling this question. So from the onset. So the band formed about 5 years ago. I was not one of the original members.
Oh, okay.
Current guitarists Ken and Mike were two of the original members at that point. I joined the band in about 2018. So the name had already been picked, and that was already there. And but hey, it's nice you can make an acronym out of it. TMR. That's a nice little easy thing to throw in there. So
have you asked them why they picked that name, or was that a conversation that never came up? Or
I asked about it, and it was I honestly don't remember. It was a very insignificant thing. We were just kind of bummed. that Lady Gaga song came out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I ran into that, man.
Yeah, so
I ran into that quite a bit. So yeah, so that's part of why I was curious too. I was like,
yeah. So that was an unfortunate thing that happened after the band was already named. We're not the first band that there was a Dave Grohl interview recently where he's like, man, if I would have known the band would have been this way, I would have not called it the Foo Fighters. But the main thing about this band is it's the five of us, and we just love playing rock and roll music, and we've been playing together for a good while now. Our current lineup, all five of us with our newer singer, have all been together since probably it's late 2019.
Oh, nice.
And we 5-piece band, 2 guitars, bass, vocals, and drums, and we have been playing together now for a while, and we feel a good groove, and we put together this album, which is really a compilation of songs that have gone over the length of this band, even going back to about 5 years ago when the band 6 years ago when the band was formed. Prior to me joining it, some of the music, some of the riffs and stuff were written by Ken and Mike initially, and then found their way into the songs that we have now. Other songs we wrote completely as a group, and it spans a lot of time. There's a lot of variety in the album we put out, which is, I think, pretty cool. So
yeah, I did notice that listening through, because the first one I came in contact with, I guess is the word, is I saw the video for if not for the fire.
Yeah.
So I watched that a few times, and I'm like, okay, I got a good feel on him. It's a nice groove-based rock band, really nice, catchy grooves. I love it. And then I started going through your album, and I'm like, wait, this is heavy. Like, some of this is a little bit heavier. Some of this is a little bit more rock-based, more darker, if you will. What is is it All for Nothing?
All You Can't Afford.
All You Can't Afford. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was the last track on the album. That is a great fucking song.
Yeah, that's a real fun one. I'm partial a lot to those two you named, and that's not just because they both start with the bass guitar playing a riff. But those. So starting with If Not for the Fire, an interesting thing about that is our current singer Taylor, when he auditioned to join the band, our other singer left the band, and we immediately contacted him. He plays in another local band in Chicago called Polarizer, and he had mutual friends with our drummer, and we had played a show with his other band. We saw him sing, and we're like, hey, if we can get this guy, that'd be great. And so he had some time, he was interested, and as part of the audition, we gave him some tracks where we had the music figured out, but our old singer just like he wasn't coming up with good melody and lyrics we didn't like about it. And actually, those two songs, the If Not for the Fire and All You Can't Afford, were the ones he came to the rehearsal, like the first audition, basically, with. If Not for the Fire is basically now as he brought it. Like it was just
oh wow,
it came to him, and as soon as we heard him do that, we're like, this is the guy. So
that's pretty wild. What do you think about lineup changes since we're on the topic? I mean, how do you feel about where your fans might sit with that?
Well, I think the thing about it is, you never want to lose the core group of people. You never want to lose the driving force of the band, and you don't want it to, to veer off into some direction that it wouldn't have gone had the band stayed together. And to be honest, like the amount of effort that we were all putting in, besides our old singer, he wasn't putting in the effort that we were looking for. We all kind of wanted to make sure we're doing the best. And, sometimes that means you come up with a part and we all were like, I don't know, it's all right, but maybe we could do something a little better, constructive criticism back and forth to try and get the best out of it for all of us. It's a full team, and you want to have everybody on the full team. And just, there was just kind of a disagreement with that. And he didn't see how we saw it, and he left, and we found another guy that Taylor's been great. And the rest of us, I mean, we've been writing that music as a core, like, two guitar players, bass player, drummer together for the three and a half years I've been in the band. So we were all real comfortable, and we all really knew that like we had something good we didn't want to lose when we lost the singer.
right.
And you weren't the original bass player, so I mean, right? Am I right about that? Okay, so
yeah,
I don't want to go too deep into this rabbit hole, but at the same time, I do want to know what your thoughts are about how it changes the feel of the band. You know what I mean? It's like, because you guys have had a few lineup changes, and I feel you, because me and Cody both have been through that kind of thing in a big way. So,
yeah, and I think part of the thing is that now that we've had the same lineup since 2019, for a couple of years now, and this album is all five of us playing on all five, all five of us playing all 11 tracks. So we now feel that good groove, but it definitely at the beginning that kind of is what slowed the band a bit, because when you don't have that great chemistry and you don't have everybody on the same wavelength, you can write a song and you just churn sometimes on it. It's like, yeah, this is good, but something's just not quite right about it. And we had a good number of those songs with our old singer that we felt that way, and we gave it to our new guy. We're like, yeah, see, I knew this was great. We just needed someone else to look at it a little different way.
It is so difficult to find the balance. Everybody looks up to the ones, to the bands we love, but when you're working your ass off towards a goal and even one member goes, I don't see that goal, everything just stops until you guys have to it. That is one of the most frustrating parts about doing this. But when you find it, oh brother, that's what it's for.
That's kind of where I was leading a little bit, because Cody and I are no strangers to this situation. Sometimes you have band members, you might have a few people like Cody and I see eye to eye on a lot of shit. That's why we work together. But you might have some people that come in, and I'm not naming names here, but you might have some people that come into your project or your band that aren't really seeing eye to eye musically. How do you feel about that? I mean, what's your thought about how you figure that out real quick?
So the thing is, right, you want to make sure, I feel like normally it's more personalities than like musical tastes that'll cause that problem there. It's just how you work with others, because like, when I came into the band, I added a little bit, some of the songs on this record that are a little more like proggy, they got like a weird time signature or something in there.
Right.
Some of that came when I joined, because that's just, so I'm a huge fan of like old prog rock bands, your Rush, your Genesis, Yes, bands like that. So I added like a little bit of flavor to that wasn't necessarily there before. So it added to it, but it worked because of how I can work with the other guys and how we all respect each other's like backgrounds of what music that we like and how we come together. It's really not a like, you can mesh any music groups of musical tastes together to come up with really cool stuff. It's just really a matter of like how you work with each other. You know, you got to have a respect level to say, because, you know, if you don't like something that someone else in the band does, you don't say like, hey man, that sucks. You say, I know
For
you
sure.
can do better than that, you know?
I
Like
don't know about that.
I know you're a freaking great guitar player. And it's like, I don't know, I'm not quite feeling that.
Yeah.
Let's try something else.
Yeah.
So
And
Yeah, well,
that,
that's a common problem. Don't you agree, Cody? Just common problem that some musicians are like, well, I'm leaning a little bit towards this sound versus where you're leaning on this song. You know what I mean? So that's a common problem. It's cool when you can get past it, though. That shows that you have the you have the potential to become a band that is successful.
But that
like all
is-
the bands that you mentioned,
yeah.
right?
And I think that is the challenge though with lineup changes as well, because you're trying to find that spot that fills what you're missing in the sound or in the band, or, you know, or like you said, there, me and Ralph have had them too, where they just don't want to do fuck all. And next thing you know, you're picking up 30 million pieces of the work because nobody wants to, you know, do Instagram or some shit like that. It's a necessary evil for the job. But in the inevitable event that usually happens when especially when you're starting out, is you don't see eye to eye with somebody, the musical difference changes. And like Jason said, you bring somebody in and now they, maybe not a night and day difference, but there is a slight difference in influence, and that's going to affect your sound somewhat. You know, their writing approach, their rhythmic approach, something is going to have to be adjusted with it, you know?
yeah, and the way we write songs is kind of interesting. A handful of songs in this were written, some of them predated me joining the band, like the main parts of the song, but then I added my bass fills and my parts to it. But some of them we have, so our one guitarist, Ken, he and I both work pretty methodically. We like, you know, we have a DAW open and we're recording some things and kind of layering some stuff and doing a structure. And that's just the way that we both think.
Right.
And then our drummer and our other guitarist, Mike, they're way more just put me in a room, plug our instruments in and see what happens. So there was a couple of writing sessions where Ken and I went to either one of our apartments, we're sitting in front of the computer with our guitars. And then Mike and Colin were in the rehearsal room, just jamming on stuff and seeing what happens with a cell phone recording. And then you kind of come back and we look at these and we all as a band think about it. You know, we show the other two what we were working on. They show us what we were working on, kind of combine, and then we'll all sit together and work at it. So I think the thing that's been the best for us is we figured out how we work together to get things right. Because that's how we'd write the music. And when we have like a song, basically like, here's all 3.5, 4 minutes of music structure and everything. And then we hand it to our singer, Taylor, and he puts a melody and lyrics over top of it. It's kind of unconventional, but we figured out that works for us.
Yeah.
And that's how you got to do it, you know?
Yeah, that is trying to find that formula. It's because it's different. It is different from everybody. Because I've sent riffs and I've literally sent anything from a 2-measure riff to Ralph to a full song that I'd had in my brain. And sometimes I'll get, dude, that's fucking amazing. And sometimes I'll get, hey, this section, let's double it. Maybe I have to. And then you as a team start pulling it apart and throwing your 2 cents in and trying to find the magic sauce. What for you guys personally in your creative process have you guys agreed that there's somebody at the end of the day that goes, okay, stalemate, I make the call?
Great question.
That is a good,
because that's a tough balance for any band to find that mutual respect. But at some point, the buck's got to stop. To move forward, you've got to make the call.
Yeah, I think anytime it's kind of come to that, really, I think we've kind of all taken not to say taken a hit on one, but like, you let one song go if you're like, I think it could have been a little different, but the other guys seem to like it, and then you win that battle on another song.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth getting, you don't want to get too in the weeds about things, because there's something about a song, a well-written song. There's a lot of subtleties differences you can have, and it's still going to be a good song and people are still going to like it.
Facts.
we try not to get too much into the weeds at a certain point, because you want to complete it, you want to have all the all the sprinkles on top and everything.
Yeah.
But like, we're not the kind of band who sits there and like goes through like 8 iterations of a mix and is like, wait, did you guys hear that? It's like a little different there. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, but I do
Very good.
I
Very
do the
well
same
put.
thing. For me personally, like if I'm writing a song and we come up with a good idea and then somebody goes, this ain't working, let's do this. It takes my brain forever to get over the version I'm used to. So immediately it sounds wrong. And I got to keep, it's not wrong. It's just different. Take it for what, I have to kind of fucking like mull it over to see if it really works for me,
Yeah. And that took a little bit of time with some of these songs, because we did that where like there was a version of the song with our old singer and then our new singer completely new lyrics melody. So that was jarring at first, but we liked the new stuff so much that it's a little weird at first, but you play it enough and you just got a good song stuck in your head at that point,
Yeah.
So on this topic, what is your favorite track off of this new album?
It's hard to pick, and I'm not always a fan of the question favorite, because it's usually, you got a lot of things you like about different ones. I'll speak a little bit specifically about my bass parts and then kind of general about some other songs. I really enjoy If Not for the Fire it's the single, but it's also, I like it because there's a prominent bass riff. I get a little part in the bridge where it's really showcased. It's a lot of fun. And Alone With You is another one on the album that I really like playing bass to, because I get to just the guys really let me have some liberty of like, sometimes you don't want the bass player to really pop out too much. Right. But on those songs, they kind of let me just go for it, and I really enjoyed that. Some of the other things I like about the album is because of how we're going. Some of the songs are heavier, some of them are a little more sing along. Pretty Ones is another favorite of mine. That actually came from the main riff and the chorus was something I wrote just by myself, like when I was like 17, just didn't know what to do with it. And we were sitting in a writing session one day, just like, anybody else got any ideas? And I was like, I remember very angsty young me wrote this weird lick, because it's in like 5/4. And I was like, I was listening to a lot of prog rock, and I was like, and they're like, hey, wait a minute, that one's pretty good. And the fact that made it onto a song that's on the album that I personally like wrote a main part of it instead of, just contributing after. That one's got a special place.
Which track was that?
Pretty Ones.
Pretty Ones.
Yep.
Did you guys is all the material you wrote for the album on the album, or did you guys hold a couple tracks back?
It's pretty much all on there. There's a couple other songs that were like most of the way there, but there isn't any other full recorded mixed masters just sitting there that we just said didn't make the cut. There's completed songs, but not completed recordings, I guess.
Gotcha. Yeah. I know what that means. I know what you mean. Now let's talk about your bass, because you've got a lot of groove when you play. You can't hold no groove if you ain't got no pocket. So you know where the pocket is. You know how to groove. Mm-hmm. Where's your tone coming from? Because your tone is clean as shit. It's nice, gritty, deep, but clean. You can hear every note.
Yeah, when I talked to our the guys that helped us with mixing, we do all our guitars and bass direct in, so we record it completely clean. And then Ken is a Kemper amp profiler, so he's got all these amp settings in there. So what we typically do is we record one, completely clean, just the raw signal of the guitar or bass, and then another where we have an amp that we kind of want to start with. And John Terry, who mixed a lot of the songs on our record, I had the bass tone that was kind of in there for some of them, and I kind of just gave him the I kind of just talked with him a little bit, and and what I was talking about, like, hey, we want it to be clean, but it needs to come through. I don't want it to be one of those songs where you got to like listen really, really closely to hear the bass player.
Right.
But I also don't want there to be no low end, because sometimes you go too far in either way. You either are like, the bass is so punchy that there's nothing in the song below like 300 hertz.
Yeah. Yeah. It almost feels like another guitar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to have it as I was a guitar player before I was a bass player, which influences a little bit of the melodic parts of it, but there's still a role as the bass player. There's things that you got to do. You got to hold some of these things down.
Right.
And the tone's definitely inspired by, again, like for me, biggest influence, classic prog rock. Like we're talking, Geddy Lee, Chris Squire, and Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath. Another one where it's like, when you hear those guys playing, it's them. And I wanted to try and have that bit for me too.
Right.
So
I
when
pulled
I
it
play
off, brother.
live, it's just a Fender Rumble 100 bass combo, and everything's almost at 12. Just that amp and my bass is like exactly the tone I want, because it's got a lot in like the like 1 to 3K, like nothing too high, too sparkly,
Yeah.
but there's more mids than most bass players put in there, and I don't know, I like that. So
No, I dig it. It stands out. But like you said, it's definitely a bass. There's no doubt about it. There's nothing like, it's not like overly processed or anything. It's very raw. I dig it. I dig it a lot.
Oh, those damn bass players. Gotta love a good one though, man. And you are a good one, dude. Thanks for coming out with us today, bro. Is there any what do you want to push to people right now? I mean, I know you guys got the new album, but where do you want people to go check you out? What do you want to do? How do you want social media to interact with you? Give me some info on that. What are your thoughts?
yeah, so we got all the major social media stuff. If you go to themillionreasons.com, that'll immediately link you to be able to listen to the album. There's just a series of links for Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Deezer, anything, whatever you're listening to it on. You could follow us on Twitter. I believe it's at The Million Reasons. It shouldn't be too hard to find if it is not exactly that. Instagram, Facebook, we're all over those.
You guys have an actual website, or?
Yeah, themillionreasons.com is what you'd go to for that.
Oh, okay, cool. You guys got a .com. Very cool. Themillionreasons.com. Guys, check them out. Very cool band. Love the sound. I can't say enough about how much I love your bass playing, dude, to be honest with you. I mean, because I'm a bass player too. I don't play bass anymore, so I can't really say I'm a bass player. But I started out playing bass, and I dig what you do, dude. It's very cool.
Appreciate that. Yeah. And it works well too, because it's with every, you can't just have a good bass player in a band. You need a good guitar player, a good drummer, a good singer.
Absolutely. You guys have it all going on, but I like your tone, man. So I just wanted to point that out. Check these guys out, man. Where are you guys? Are you guys on the label?
Yeah. So we're with Pavement Entertainment.
Oh, you are with Pavement. Okay,
so,
cool. All right.
And we're based out of Chicago. So most of our shows are, opening up for touring bands in the Chicagoland area. Sometimes we have our own show. We had a show right before the album release where, it was us and a couple other local bands. So if you're in the Chicago area, just anywhere in the Midwest, we're going to be close by and putting on a good show for you at some time.
Are you friends with Tim King? I mean, you guys are both bass players, and he's from the Chicago area as well.
Yeah, he works, we work directly with him with Pavement and stuff. So
right on. Cool. Anything you got to ask, Cody?
Nah, I think we covered it, brother. This was good stuff.
All right.
Oh, you guys planning touring anytime soon? Shows coming up?
We got a couple shows in the works, mostly local. We're trying to find that right spot for a short leg of a tour. We all got like good full-time jobs that we like, so it's hard to take, just get up and do a 3-4 weeks of a tour.
Yeah, it's got to make sense.
But we're looking, and stay tuned. Shows will be posted soon. There's a couple ones that aren't confirmed yet, so I'm not going to talk about them, but there's some spinning in the next couple months here in the Chicago area, Midwest.
Last minute question before we let you go. What is your personal favorite band, dude?
Personal favorite band. It's got to be Rush. I mean, that's just
okay.
And I think for me that was the first band that really got me interested in wanting to play, and that's a huge part of it, right?
Yeah, that's when it all starts. For me, it was personally Paul McCartney and the Beatles. But when you get that, it's that fire. It's whatever turns that on that makes you hungry for it. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big Beatles, Paul McCartney fan too. I've seen Paul in concert 3 or 4 times now. I mean, the man's 75 years old and he's in better shape than me.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Plays for 3 hours, doesn't have a sip of water. I was crazy.
Fucking A.
Wow. Fucking Paul. All right, people. Don't forget to check these guys out. We are out of here. We love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Be good humans, as Cody likes to say. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. Check out these dudes. Check out The Million Reasons. These guys are a good band and they're worthy of your attention. So check them out. And don't forget to check out the shows because we're going to bring more bands like this on. We're going to do more reaction videos. We're going to be just sending you guys all kinds of cool shit that you guys can
cranking.
Check out. Because we know you guys love it. You guys can deny it, but we don't believe you. Anyways.
The band is The Million Reasons. The man, Jason Cillo on bass. Go support them. Go support The Million Reasons. Make sure you check out the other shows. Make sure you stay tuned for more interviews. Make sure you stay tuned for more reactions. And until then, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Be good humans. Always fucking forward. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.